Hello and welcome back, everybody. We're going to be continuing and actually finishing up our Chapter 13 on wildfires, going through sections 5, 6, and 7. In Section 5, we're going to be talking about some of the natural service functions of wildfires. And pretty much like every other natural disaster, there are some benefits that these kinds of events can provide to the environment and also to humans as well. One of the things that it does is when something burns, like let's say paper or wood burns, you've got an accumulation of carbon left behind. That's the blackish stuff, the black ash or soot. All right. What that does is really it provides a very good fertilizer. It provides great nutrients for future plants. And so as things burn and that carbon goes into the ground, it makes a great kind of starter fertilizer for new stuff. And so as wildfires continue to burn, you can actually sort of create almost like a reservoir of nutrients that are really based on fires. And another thing that wildfires do is that they reduce microorganism populations. Like for example, say not microorganisms, but let's say some sort of beetles, like invasive beetles. All right, it can kill pests or parasites that carry disease and can spread blights from plant to plant. And so, plants that have microorganisms that feed on them, if the microorganisms or insects or pests or parasites are wiped out because of forest fires, the species of plant can actually continue to survive. Even though certain of those plants die, others of those can live because the microorganisms themselves have been wiped out. All right, it also thins out the various different species of plants. One of the things that it does is it decreases competition for a number of things, including light. Remember, plants need light to grow, and so they grow into areas where there is light. And so if you have let me just sketch this real quick. So we got a real dense forest right here. Okay, and this tree canopy is blocking out light from the sun getting down to the ground right here. And so these plants are really, really struggling. And so if a wildfire takes place in there, you have more areas of, say, these are just kind of trunks left behind. All right. Well, now all of a sudden these plants down on the ground can receive light from the sun because the canopy is now opened up and sunlight can get to the ground. All right, so it decreases the competition by kind of thinning things out and letting other plants regrow. Sometimes seeds are triggered by heat. The jack pine is a good example of seeds that don't open up unless they're exposed to a certain amount of heat, and so that kind of pine tree can reproduce even if it was caught in a wildfire or a forest fire, or especially if it's caught in a wildfire. It removes surface litter. All right, so that is kind of like decaying leaves and stuff that just sort of covers the ground. Like after this winter, look in your backyard. There's probably a lot of surface litter right there. What you want to do is rake that up so that the grasses can breathe. And so what the fire does is that it gets rid of that, and so new grasses, new fresh plants can thrive. Nutrients are recycled through fire. I mean, fire is kind of the universal cleanser, as it were. It just kind of recycles chemicals and breaks them down and puts them back into the soil so that they can be usable again. And so with increased plant life, that is new kinds of plants coming in, animals can benefit from that. And so if you have burned out logs that hopefully are cooled down, but burned out logs do provide very good homes for animals and habitats for other kinds of organisms. So those are just a few things that are kind of natural service functions or benefits that wildfires can provide.